Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nabila binti Zamri, and today I will present about the introduction of the company that our group have chosen for this assignment. So our group have decided to choose Prolintas Berhad as our competent person for this Hirarc group assignment. Project Lintasan Kota Holdings Sdn Bhd, or known as Prolintas, was incorporated as an investment holdings company in 1995. They have been intrinsically involved in nation building right from the beginning of their career. Through their subsidiaries, they design, construct, operate, and maintain essential expressways that are used by tens of millions of road users annually in Malaysia. There are several highways that are designed and constructed by Prolintas Company, which is Ampang Kuala Lumpur Elevated Highway, Gulf 3 Corridor Expressway, Lebuh Raya Kemuning Shah Alam, Kajang Sek, Sungai Besi Ulu Kelang Elevated Expressway Phase 1 or SUKE, and the newest launch Damansara Shah Alam Elevated Expressway, or known as DASH. All Malaysians also have come to depend on them daily. The purpose of this study is to identify and define the type of risk and hazard in the workplace simply by describing its probability, regularity, and severity of the risk, and also to give precise assessment of risk and hazard to monitor and control the potential risks that might be happen in the workplace. The scope of this study is to identify current and potential risks for Prolintas Company's employees at the workplace and to outline the fundamental presumptions for the organizational environment, both internally and externally. Next, we move on to the definition of terms in Hirarc. There are 8 terms, which is hazard. Hazard is a source or a situation with a potential for harm in terms of human injury or ill health, damage to property, damage to the environment, or a combination of these. Hazard identification is the identification of undesired events or conditions that lead to the materialization of the hazard mechanism by which those undesired events could occur. Next, danger. Danger is the relative exposure to hazard. Inspection team or Hirarc team. Inspection team or Hirarc team is a group of people who are responsible for conducting the workplace inspection. Next term is risk. Risk is a combination of the likelihood of an occurrence of a hazardous event with specified period or in a specified circumstances and the severity of injury or damage to the health of people, property, environment, or any combination of these caused by the event. Next is risk assessment. Risk assessment is the process of evaluating the risks to safety and health arising from hazard at the workplace. Risk control. Risk control is the process of implementing measures to control the risk that associated with a hazard. And the last one is risk management. Risk management is the total procedure associated by identifying a hazard, assessing the risk, putting in place control measures, and reviewing the outcomes. Now we move on to the responsibilities of the facilities and divisional management and the responsibilities of the Hirarc inspection team. The responsibilities of the facilities and divisional management is to cooperate with OSH committee to conduct a comprehensive safety and health inspection, to identify any potential risks or hazardous situations at the workplace, and to ensure the efficacy of existing safety and health control. And the responsibility of the Hirarc inspection team is to check and review the workplace inspection in compliance with Hirarc SOP, to ensure the potential risks and hazard at workplace are eventually managed, to ensure the periodic review of risk and hazard control are efficient, and discussing the control methods to minimize the risk at workplace in the future.
Next, I will explain about workplace safety inspection. Regulation established by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH) and other government bodies specify the legal requirements to safeguard and the safety and health of both the general public and the employees at the workplace. This policy is applicable to all workplaces in Malaysia engaged in building operation and engineering construction work. They are governed by the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1994 and the Factories and Machinery Act of 19 1967. The Occupational Safety and Health Act OSHA 1994 required the inspection of workplace to be done at least once in every 3 months. However, the degree of risk present at work dictates how frequently inspections are conducted. The Hirarc team should create an inspection schedule appropriate for the degree of risk after receiving risk assessment reports to plan inspection throughout the year. This timetable need to be relied to the relevant faculty, division, department and lab. It is advised that people performing workplace inspection take part in Hirarc training and have understanding of the workplace and any potential dangers. The Hirarc team should discuss the places to be inspected and the time allocated for inspection as they develop the inspection schedule. Each inspection must have complete records. Before submitting the report to the OSH committee, the inspection team must complete the Hirarc form, have the location in charge people sign it, and reach consensus among them members to countermeasure and recommendation. Staff in area like science, engineering, computer, labs and workshop have valuable on-the-job knowledge and can be skilled at spotting risks related to certain jobs. The staff should be involved in inspection process or given the chance to submit information to the inspection team by being present during inspection, as this information is valuable during inspection. All employees are urged to tell the OSH Secretariat of any potential hazard or to report them. That's all for me. Thank you.
So next, I will explain about inspection checklist and a corrective action. So, inspection checklist is a checklist that must be tailored to the type of equipment being inspected in order to be effective, and every part required for reliable operation must be examined. It should be straightforward enough for small and medium-sized business to use, and it should be adaptable. So in Hirarc-based, checklists were used during an inspection to help in assisting identification of hazards. This basically means inspection checklist is used to help produce Hirarc form. The checklist final section should include a notation about any additional hazards, and any department may add extra hazards to the unit checklist as long as they contact the safety officer and informing regarding the additional hazards so that the officer can be noted on that. Secondly, next is preventive corrective action. It is required to take preventive or corrective action to lessen the likelihood or risk of specific hazards, and measures should be taken to make sure possible hazards can be controlled after they have been identified. The officer would make sure safety health officer would make sure the reports will be submitted to the proper department or person in charge for any additional action, and the officer should check in to see if the action was performed or was finished, and they should examine the hazards to make sure it had been reduced or eliminated. That's all from me. Thank you.
Last but not least, inspection report. They have several areas that should be inspected, which is office area, such as computer area and elevator, pantry area, which is kitchen, outdoor, and site area. And then we have hazard identification, which is physical hazard, psychosocial hazard, ergonomic hazard, chemical health hazard, biological hazard. And then we have risk assessment. Risk assessment is a methodical process of assessing the potential risks that may be involved in a proposed activity or undertaking. The calculation is likelihood times by severity, and this is the table of rate of risk assessment. Risk control refers to a set of procedures used by business to assess potential losses and take steps to mitigate or eliminate them. It is a risk assessment technique that identifies potential risk factors in a company operation, such as technical and non-technical business component, financial policies, and other concerns that may have an impact on their firm well-being. There are several solutions or initiatives that can be taken to reduce the rate of risk assessment. They can make an awareness campaign. The campaign can ensure employees more aware about their own safety and hazard at workplace. The company can make a poster to promote the importance of the safety at workplace. Usually, this method is not long last, so they can make this regularly or periodically. Next, emphasize employee to wear PPE in the right place and the right time. Supervisor need to make sure employee wear it the right way to avoid accident. Last but not least, eliminate the unnecessary step and improvise them. Some employees feel that some of the existing measures are unnecessary and only inconvenience them and create discomfort for them. So they don't take at all the safety measure. By eliminating some steps and reformulating them, it can attract employees to follow those steps.